Okay. We're back with Warhammer 40k Rogue Tide. We're just gonna pick right up where I left off. Sorry, I'm adjusting some things. YouTube streaming just like you're live. It doesn't really let you do any setup beforehand. It's just like, all right, and you're going. Good luck. Okay, that's good. Good enough. Okay. Deep shadows of weariness can be seen on Abelard's face. Though the old officer's eyes are keen, they rake over you from head to toe. He frowns, mutters something, then nods to himself. Well then, your lordship. You can't help but notice that Seneschal does not know how to talk to you or where to begin. His hesitation brings an involuntary smirk to your face, as though someone else entirely is gloating at the old officer's confusion. Seeing your smile, he pulls himself together. For now, you must now hold your first officer's briefing in your new role as Lord Captain. For many of those who are about to join us on the bridge, this will be their first briefing. We sustained massive losses among the senior and middle-ranking officers. Some posts have had to be filled by the deputy's deputy, while others go unfilled entirely, and now the deck clans are deciding who will take over the lead of this cruise. Okay, so I have to have my first officers meeting. Got it. Well, I do want to be a rogue trader. That's why I'm playing rogue trader. How did we come to lose so many officers? It appears the heretics were deliberately targeting the vessel's command. They knew exactly whom they were looking for, where they could be found, which is unsurprising given that their informant on board was our own Master of Whispers. I need to hear his voice again. It's been too long, I can't remember what he sounds like. I'm just kind of going deeper than my normal voice for him. What's on the agenda for this meeting? Reports on the condition of the ship and crew. The Lord Captain is not usually drawn away from her important affairs to attend such routine briefings, but this is a unique situation. I am still receiving updates from across the ship, and they are not encouraging. Getting this bird to fly could take a gargantuan effort, even so far as you personally negotiating with the authorities of the system we are currently in. So prepare to hear a bevy of complaints and excuses, your lordship. Take this opportunity to get a good look at the officers who will work 6 decks away from the bridge, and they in turn will have the honor of beholding the visage of their Lord Captain. Have you succeeded in tracking down Voigtgear? Abelard grits his teeth. No, Lord Captain. In all the commotion, his trail went cold. Our people are still on the hunt for him, and any mutineers who may be skulking in the ship's many corridors. But, frankly, I would not be surprised to hear we are now one shuttle short. If he didn't just teleport out, I am afraid that it will be some time before he answers for all that he has wrought. But he will, eventually. Right? Surely. Surely he has to. Wait. Oh wait, no, that's the one I don't want to say. I'm ready to start the briefing. Summon the officers. Alright, let's see what we got. A dozen eyes bore into you, the expressions revealing restraint, joy, curiosity, and wariness. Attention, officers! You have been granted an honor. Lord Captain Zale von Valentius will personally conduct today's briefing. Our most gracious Lord Captain is ready to hear your reports. Perhaps you would introduce those present, Abelard. As you wish, your lordship. Abelard points to a tall, slender woman whose body seems to contain as many implants as it does flesh. Vigdis Suri Otta of the Ptolemy line, our new Vox Master. The Vox is the radio-ish thing, yeah. If I know anything about how a Vox sounds, it is not clear. Vox Master Vigdis. It is an honor to serve your lordship. I'm not going to keep that up the whole time. That might be more fitting for the Adeptus Mechanicus guy, honestly. Although in Space Marine, they're just kind of like... Sorry, that probably sounded awful. I shouldn't have done that. Aboard this vessel, you have at your command thousands of crew members and hundreds of officers and section chiefs. I'm responsible for receiving, processing, and sending all communication between you and them. I am your eyes and mouth, Lord Captain. Beside her is Ravor, the master helmsman. Oh yeah, we met. He steers our ship along the course set by the Lord Captain and monitors the void around us to ensure that we do not stray into an asteroid field or pirate trap. Hail, Lord Captain. The bearded man with a pale, almost transparent skin, large dark circles under his eyes, and a dour expression that seems hardwired into his face gives a sullen nod. His skin's almost transparent, so he's probably voidborn like me. I should have made my dude paler, probably. He doesn't really look voidborn like the rest of them. This here ship's as good as home to me, so rest assured she's in safe hands. I'll die before I let her come to any grief. And lastly, our High Factorum, Janice Danrock, who oversees supplies, procurement, and the general material well-being of the ship. Oh, I hate him. Ew. High Factorum Janice Danrock. Dressed in an embroidered jacket, the heavy-set man with oiled hair offers an obsequious smile and bows. It is an honor, your lordship. You may trust me with all matters concerning your comfort. Everything will be done to the highest standard. I hate you. In the second row, we have the 3 officers charged with overseeing the ship's vital functions. The Master of Ordnance is responsible for the artillery, the Infernus Master, whose crew work to prevent and extinguish fires, and the firemen. And lastly, the Drives Master, servant of the Omnissiah. All supernatural entity, god of all knowledge, worshipped by the Adeptus Mechanicus. Yes. 3 officers salute you. Infernus Master does so with confidence, while the Master of Ordnance betrays nervousness. The Drives Master offers a salute resembling a dance, involving the complicated manipulation of all the Tech Priest's mechadendrites, which are his robo-limbs. Thank you, Abelard. Greetings to you all. I serve at your pleasure, Lord Captain. Infernius Master, what you got? Yes, Lord Captain. The tall man bows his head in deference. I can report that all fires across all decks have now been extinguished. The preliminary damage assessment, in terms of material losses and crew and casualties, has been completed. The results have been submitted to the Seneschal and the High Factorum. Thanks, bro. The post passed to him after previous Infernus Master and his next 3 deputies expired in the line of duty. Dang. So we lost like the top 4 firemen. The lad is managing well so far. He can take the heat, so to speak. High Factorum, what you got for me? We are toiling day and night to complete a full account of the losses. This task will require next to no involvement from your lordship. I will personally ensure that all damaged components are given to the Tech Priest's hands, and all lost supplies are replaced. There's only one resource that I cannot replenish single-handedly, and that is the people. We've lost more than 2,000 crew, and unfortunately, it is not confined to the scum of the lower decks. You're scum, beat. We are easily replaced, but also... Which are easily replaced, but also includes trained professionals. You're easily replaced. Probably not, actually, unfortunately. We'll be able to make up our losses on the nearest planet, Rykad Minoris. Not Rykard, the... oh my god, Star Trek guy. However, the planet, the whole system, in fact, belongs to the Winterscale Rogue Trader dynasty. Yeah, people keep mentioning them. I assume I'll have to deal with that eventually. We cannot simply begin recruiting on the planet without first coming to an understanding with the governor. In that respect, I am powerless. Negotiations at this level are a matter for the Rogue Trader. Sure. New quest. Hire more people. Got it. Okay. Especially true given Caligos Winterscale's penchant for attacking first and asking questions later. And the kind of thick-skulled thugs he usually installs as governor on his planets. Oh, great. Can't wait for that. Alright, Drives Master, you're up next. Zira Talar. A voice distorted by a Vox retranslator emerges from under the Tech Priest's scarlet hood. Lord Captain, the forces that set upon this noble void ship destroyed the repositories of hundreds of machine spirits. The great warp engine entrusted into my charge is unharmed, thank the Omnissiah. But its spirit mourns its dead brethren, and we have not yet identified a prayer protocol capable of assuaging its sorrow and anger. So, a bunch of computers got broke, and they haven't been able to reprogram the remaining ones yet. Got it, okay. With great sorrow, I must also report that Engine Seer Prime, Overseer, and Spiritual Authority of all Tech Priests on board fell in battle. the Magos was betrayed by the little flesh that remained part of him. A most terrible loss. There are no among my comrades aboard who experience and comprehension of the sacred protocols equals that of the fallen Magos. We require a replacement as soon as possible. Because they always make those weird noises at the end. I see, thank you. Yeah, I understood that. Tech Priest bows her head. Master Helmsman, what you got? So we got a new quest to hire another overseer. Right you are, Lord Captain. To cut a long story short, the outlook is bleak. The ships sound more or less, but without our engineer prime and navigator who fell in battle, we have no way out of the system. If we try to set so much of the tow inside the warp, I don't know what'll happen first. Our warp drive being torn to pieces, or all of us melting into the bulkheads. Yeah, I don't really want to melt, so let's do something about that. Boxmaster Vigdius says, Your Lordship, if you'll allow me to interject. When we arrived in this system, my crew followed standard protocols and conducted a count of all available communication channels in the region. One of them was a Navis Nobilite station. I don't know what that is. An ancient organization of noble mutant families whose genes allow them to safely guide warp-capable void ships throughout the Immaterium. So they're navigators. Got it. Okay. Noble navigators. Navis Nobilite. Understood. The station maintains complete Vox silence, but even its presence here inspires hope. To have located a navigator in the very same system is an incredible stroke of luck, a true blessing from the God Emperor. Oh. Sharp bolt of pain lances through my skull. You understand, it's not the God Emperor you should thank for such good forces. The words of the demon appeared before you during translation to real space echo your mind. I am the will of the Weaver and of destinies, and today I will weave a new thread of elusive possibilities and fickle chances. The thread that will lead you out of the maw of irreversibility. The thread that will help you find the keys to salvation. Okay, so Zinch is out here making sure that we make it out so we can serve him better. I don't like that. If I were you, I'd grab this chance with both hands, or else you'll soon be eyeing up asteroids to use as your new residence. In slightly less shitty news, we could go round and round this system till our heads are swimming, as long as the Prometheum supplies last. And if any thick as grok shit low lifes come sniffing around, we'll be able to take them out, so don't you worry on that score. Speaking of, Master of Ordnance, what do you got? Because, no, my job's simple. Maintain the arsenal and fire where I'm told, but just ask anyone. We've got no available crew. No Lord Captain. Master of Ordnance, you forget yourself. So what? Comes the officer's hostile and bitter reply. It is as if a dam has burst inside and all his pent-up emotions are rushing out of him. The ship is in ruins, every second officer's dead, and now we've got a green Lord Captain who's supposed to lead us to void knows where. Silence! The bridge's magnificent glass pane seemed to tremble under the force of Abelard's roar. Okay, I didn't do that well enough. Silence! Enforcers, seize this mutineer. That's a little dramatic. That's extra dramatic. If only one officer out of the whole lot has fallen to pieces, then that's not bad at all. Your Lordship, I do humbly apologize on behalf of the entire crew. What would you have us do with the Master of Ordnance? The former Master of Ordnance, should I say. Besides, find a replacement, that is, for we already have one lined up. The dogmatic thing to do is execute him? Just fucking BAM! Yeah, I guess. Spirits, Master of Ordnance are few and far between. You may remain in his post. Leave his punishment to your discretion. I'm gonna let him go. He just, emotions are crazy. Yeah. Stand down. Stand down. Release him. I have no intention of punishing a man for a moment of weakness. Not after the terrible attack we've endured. Yeah, shit got crazy, dude. It's only human that he would, break a little bit. Abelard stares unblinkingly at the Master of Ordnance. Cease your sniveling. You disgraced yourself and your entire clan. Enough. The hysterics are over. Let us resume. Ashar Nighthalmo. The Master of Ordnance stands up, wiping the blood from his broken nose. His face is the picture of shock. What just happened seems to be dawning on him only now, and the knowledge of the fate he so narrowly escaped. To summarize, we have sustained serious losses in crew members and require a new engine seer prime and a navigator. Is this all that prevents us from continuing the voyage? Precisely, Lord Captain, but bear in mind that this will not be the end of our trials. The ship's system must be properly inspected for major damage, which can only be carried out at Footfall Station, which is a massive void port at the end of the Cronus Expanse. Home to the only dockyard in the sector. Okay. Tell me about the Cronus Expanse. I cede to the Voxmaster on this point. Mistress Tolleman. We're in the Reichard star system. Our voyage here is undertaken in your orders. Yes, I know, because the Inquisitors. There are 3 inhabited bodies in the system, but we've gotten confounding results from the Vox. Navilis Nobilite Station seems to be maintaining total Vox silence. However, we got a distress call from a prison planetoid, okay. And Reichad Manaris itself is not responding to our hails. Our augers, which scan, so the scanners, okay, have intercepted signals from the surface indicating ongoing hostilities. Okay, great. So we have a navigator satellite in total silence. We have a prison planetoid with a distress signal and some sort of conflict happening on the main planet. Heard. The situation is not very encouraging, but without a navigator, a tech priest, and new crew members, we won't be able to travel anywhere. Therefore, we must go to the planet and to the Novus Nobilite Station and find out what in the void is going on. Dismissed! Thank you all. Okay. Just one other thing. Lady Theodora, she brought the ship here for a reason. She was given a secret commission, perhaps wondering who has the authority to commission. It's the Lord Inquisitor. I know. I found the letter. Yeah, see? I came across a strange handwritten letter in Theodora's desk. It was signed XC, referring to the contents of that note, I presume. Yes, quite right. XC. Xavier Calcazar. Okay. Should have read that journal update. Oh well. Lady Theodora was to seek out the Inquisitor's right-hand man, one Heinrichs von Kalox, an interrogator, you understand. All I know is that he is somewhere in the system, and we must find him and offer him whatever assistance he requires, and then deliver him to Footfall in the Furibundus system. Finding him without any more information to go on is difficult indeed, but an Inquisitor is an important individual. The authorities in the system, either the Navis Nobilite or the Governor of Reichad, may know something. Heard. And that's it. A great deal of work ahead of you. Mere taste of rogue trader as soon as you take up the reins of Blend. It says he's trying to gauge me. He offers a word of encouragement. Uh-oh. Who's this? Oh. Idira, Sister Argenta. Explain yourselves. Sister Battle grimly nods towards Idira. The Psyker is suffering some ailment or dark madness. She insisted on seeing the rogue trader. I judged it would be unwise to leave her unsupervised. Okay. For a brief moment, Sister Argenta's voice sounds hesitant. I was also hoping to approach you with a personal request, but it can wait. Speak to me when you have the time, rogue trader. And I got a new quest. Okay. Daybreak. Adalbard, bring the witch to heal. That's the witch they were talking about way at the beginning. Okay, I didn't make that connection until now. Come to your senses, Idira. Damn it. Presses her fingers to her temples in desperation. Your lordship, here's the thing. I was trying to see the immediate future, and it hit me so hard, my head is still spinning. Something very strange is heading our way. I can't make it out. It is, no matter how hard I try, a single word is all I can make out. Daybreak. Or maybe it's dawn? And it's ringing and ringing like echo, like a bell. Even if it's daybreak, then why is it so dark? Yeah, I've been hearing something about that from the warp creature in my mind, but don't mind that, I'll be fine. We cannot extract any information from its value from a single word. Can you tell us anything else, Mistress Tlas? No. Not yet, anyway. The voices are going berserk, all shouting at once. I can't make any sense of it. As soon as I know or sense anything, I'll report, alright? Lord Captain, if you want me to take a closer look in your future, find me on the bridge and we can talk. Lady Theodora was well served by my whispers on many occasions, but I'm sure you would benefit from them as well. The Psyker's bitten lips stretch into a wry smile. I don't know, you didn't really see anything about her dying or getting betrayed or any of this, really, so I'm not sure how much I trust your whispers. Sorry, I was taking a drink. I declare this concluded. Okay. Now I can walk around. Hey, Vigdis. A thin, pale woman stands out amongst the rest of the crew. There's a thick bundle of cables coming out of the back of her skull and disappearing under her ceremonial garment. You see the grate of quietly humming Vox where her mouth should be. The woman sees you and bows her head in a great, respectful greeting. How may I serve you, Lord Captain? I don't need a reminder of who she is, I know. I know what your duties are. Your appearance is unique. You're Voidborn, are you not? Me too. Victus's Vox crackles with barely audible laughter. Don't you know, Lord Captain, both of us were born in the cold vastness of space. But there are no two identical tales, just as there are no two identical stars. If you like, I'll gladly tell you about the lives of the Voidborn aboard this vessel. I would like that. Tell me about the lives of the Voidborn in my crew. To us, the groans, creaks, and murmurs of the ship sound the way babbling brooks and singing birds do to world dwellers. We hear the ship breathe. We know what it is feeling and thinking. We are part of the ship, just like it is part of us. We perform numerous functions, and there are many officers among our number. Some maintain order to prevent mutiny. Others serve as shepherds and support the crew. And some devote themselves to mending the body and spirit of the vessel. Most of the Voidborn are members of large void ships' dynasties that bear responsibility for certain aspects of the ship's life. For 300 years, the main branch of the Ptolemon dynasty has produced the ship's Voxmasters, and most of our subordinates come from the cadet houses. It reminds me of... oh man, that one race of people in Mass Effect that Tali is part of, and they made the Geth. It sounds kind of like that. They have a big void ship fleets that they just live on full time. How do you like life on the ship? Life's been quite generous to me, Lord Captain. I am the Voxmaster, and only the best in the dynasty can become one. By virtue of my skills and position, no one has ever denied me anything. Our family claims a spacious section for its demesnes, and also enjoy long walks through narrow and dimly lit quarters of the ship, listening to the sounds of her activity, falling asleep, and waking up to the chanting of hymns, and admiring the stars beyond, of course. How do the others treat you? We look, speak, and move differently from the inhabitants of planetary worlds. Our way of life, traditions, and quirks frighten those people. Just like the darkness of the cosmos, many believe us to be the bringers of ill fortune, and alas, it is the Voidborn who get the blame for terrible warp phenomena during longer voyages. Victus hesitates before continuing. Several years ago, an unfortunate warp jump caused all the food on board to spoil. Interesting. 15 days later, a hungry and furious crew nearly massacred everyone on the lower decks, blaming us for the misfortune and hoping to restock the larders with our flesh. I would have been killed during the mutiny had Idira Tlas not shown up in the right place at the right time. Interesting, really, Idira. She came to my rescue, and the scoundrels' fear for her was even greater than their fear of the Voidborn. Looks like you're close friends with Idira. Webs of tiny wrinkles appear at the corners of Vigdis's eyes, the only hint that the Voxmaster is smiling. Fair. The Voidborn seldom make friends, especially among the captain's entourage, but you see, many consider Idira to be different. I am different too. We have spent plenty of time in each other's company discussing regicide, killing kings? A human tabletop game, oh, okay. Played across the Imperium of Man, similar to ancient Terran chess. Got it. Regicide is chess. Heard. Over a glass of Amasec, a potent alcoholic drink of varying quality, widely available across the Imperium. Okay. And continue. Except Idira changed after one incident, and we started to drift apart. The death of Lord Captain Theodora made her withdraw even more. I do not know if Idira considers me her friend now, but we used to be very, very close. And I can still look after her in my own way. And they were roommates. Perception test succeeded. Interpreting the Voxmaster's motions based on half a face and a Vox-modulated voice is no easy task, but you managed to catch the undercurrent in Vigdis's words. The Voxmaster is not merely saddened by her rift with Idira, she is devastated by it. Oh, they were roommates. Have you ever left the ship? Did once, and it was dreadful. Felt like the massive blue dome overhead would shatter at any moment and fall, and my bones would be crushed by the gravity. He twitches her shoulders, trying to ward off the flood of memories. The ship is my home, Lord Captain, and I would not trade it for even the bounty of 100 worlds. I see. Just return to business. 100%. Cool. Connect me to the vessel's main channel. I wish to bolster the morale of my crew. Boxmaster nods obediently as social system of device holding is done, Lord Captain. You address the crew with a rousing speech, and you hear your voice roil through the ship, reaching even the normally quiet corners of the vessel. When the broadcast ends, you hear distant shouts of approval. Yeah, let's fucking go, we said the thing. That'll be all for now. I'd live to serve, Lord Captain. Okay. She was fun to talk to. Who else we got? Bridge officer. Abelard. I'll save. He's standing in front of like the thing that's telling me where to go next. Or it said I could click on to pick where to go next. So I'm assuming he'll progress me. So we're gonna check out up here first. Heinrich Montag. Are you the fireman? Yeah, you're the fireman. The Infernus Master nonchalantly lights a EO stick from the thermal cutter and spreads his arms in a welcoming gesture. Heinrich Montag, at your service. The smells and cinders of EHO. IO? Low. It's an L. Okay. I thought it was a capital I. Low stick. A common form of recreational stimulant that consists of rolled paper stuffed with a plant-derived substance. Wait, we just smoke weed up in here? Fuck yeah. When lit, the substance emits smoke that's held through the tube. Okay. I mean, I guess a cigarette is a mild recreational stimulant, I suppose? Huh. Okay. Taking her labor if she weren't to the greasy and ragged officer's uniform. How'd you come to be in service of Von Valencius? Not in the usual way. My ancestors wronged yours and were appointed Inferni as a result. Interesting. Hard labor, deadly risks, plenty of opportunities to atone. Those criminals have been dead for generations, but we are still serving their time. Wow. Maybe we will find redemption one day. I hope so. You can find it with me if everything goes right. I don't see a problem with that. Tell me more about the Infernius Guild. What do you interest you the most? Our duty, our state-of-the-art equipment, or vibrant traditions? State-of-the-art equipment, that sounds interesting. He smiles guiltily. That was a bit of a stretch, I'm sorry. There is no state-of-the-art equipment. The risks of ruining it in a fire are too great. We get by using human resources, and the most common items available. Respirators, fire extinguishers, and flame-retardant uniforms. Let's face it, the lives of the Inferni are not worth much. Should be. It's more important that we save the machines and minimize the damage to the ship. Human life under machines, yeah, that sounds about right. How is the guild organized? They have different brigades. The guild are liquidators, tough guys with nerves of steel, put out fires and pull people out of flames. There's repairmen. And there's walking inspectors who check the decks and make sure there's nothing blocking the passages. Makes sense. Fire marshals. What traditions? We have plenty of those, like the reminders. He rolls up his sleeve, revealing a tattoo inscribed over an old burn mark. When you survive a particularly hopeless incident, you get a tattoo on your scar. You can always tell an experienced Infernus by their ink. It's like a badge of honor of sorts. Tell me how you got your reminders. Points to a tattoo on his right forearm. This one is from the time plasma leaked from the outer aft circuit. Imagine yourself cleaning to the whole outside, thermal cutter in one hand and a magnetic clamp in the other. As your flames burst from the breach, the kind that can incinerate you in a second. All that separates you from death is a flimsy rope and a void suit more ancient than Holy Terra. And the price I paid was nothing compared to my comrades. He slowly moves the augmented fingers of his right hand. Make sense? The art is so good. I don't think I mentioned that before, but I've been appreciating it every time. As for this one, the look he directs at his left hand is full of bitterness. I got this one in the ammo depot where my wife, Elsinora, died. There was a fire, and the flames were getting close to the ammunition. And I don't mean auto gun rounds. These were macro cannon shells. Ah, the gun shells. They're the ship's guns. We put out the fire as best we could, but we were losing. Suddenly, Elsie took my hand, kissed me, and ran straight into the blaze and activated the emergency blast door. We stayed outside while she vented the compartment. Henry gives a tender smile, gazing at the smoke. It was quite a story. I'm sorry for your loss, dude. He nods gratefully and takes another puff. Alright. That's it for now, man. Thanks for letting me know. Never let your fire go out, Lord Captain. I mean, no. He hurriedly waves his hands. That was just a stupid little guild in joke. Seriously, if you've seen a furnace next to a naked flame, run. Okay. Oops, all tabbed. Argenta. Yeah, what did you need, Argenta?
Rogue trader.
Mr. Argenta looks tired. There are dark circles under her eyes. Her hair is somewhat disheveled, and she moves like she's a little on edge. We'll get to her request last. Tell me about yourself.
About me?
This part's voice acted.
I'm the Emperor's daughter and his servant. What else is there to tell about me?
How did you end up here?
I first came here when I found myself in need of passage from Footfall to a remote planet. But I imagine what interests you is not that first journey, but rather what brought me aboard prior to the pirate attack. That story
Pirate
is
attack?
complicated.
It says cultist.
Just so happened that
I guess it used to be a pirate attack when they did the VA for this, and they changed it at some point. Interesting.
I made a mistake. In a moment of laxity, I was ambushed by the accursed followers of the archenemy. I was badly wounded. Lady Theodora came to my aid and brought me aboard her ship, while her crew attended to me in my weakened state. It all happened not too long ago. I barely recovered from my wounds when the pirates struck.
Yeah,
truly the servants of evil know
stupid
no
pirates. I hate
rest.
those guys.
There is no place where we can be safe from their machinations.
What happened to those people that wounded you? Did Theodora's men eliminate them?
Sadly, they did not. Lady Theodora was in a hurry and chose not to stay on the planet. Her people took me to a ship while I was unconscious, and when I came to my senses, we were already flying away. How I pray to come face to face with those heretics once more. And it's bound to happen someday.
Yeah, it is. You mentioned making a mistake.
It happens even to the best of us. My mistakes are my burden to bear. I'll find a way to atone for them.
Okay. Where did this happen?
On one of the recently discovered planets in the Expanse. No one suspected that it had already been tainted by the filth of heresy.
Yeah, wow.
Had I known it beforehand, of course I would have been on my guard.
Yeah, we should go to that planet and deal with the Chaos Worshippers. Let's do it.
The path to
her eyes
that
glint,
planet
then she
was
hesitates
lost.
and shakes her head with a sigh.
All the knowledge is gone, along with the previous navigator.
Aww.
It would take immense effort and resources to rediscover the route. The heir to the von Valanci's protectorate must have plenty of other issues to deal with right now.
Nah, I got
Perhaps
nothing.
Later,
there's literally
when
nothing
the
more
skies
important.
above our heads have cleared.
Navigator? Who's that? Arch overseer of the Mechanicus? We don't need that. What? We just need revenge. What was it like traveling on Theodora's ship?
I hadn't been here that long. Just one journey from Footfall, and the other journey, the majority of which I spent in the confines of the Medbay. I can't tell you much about the first voyage. I was more focused on prayers and ruminations than on the people around me, or the journey itself. During the last journey, Seneschal Viserion stood out for me. He came by several times to ask about my health. He's an honorable man and a loyal servant of the Imperium. But not all of Theodora's people have earned my trust.
I'm glad the Seneschal's a good dude, though.
There is no place for Adira Tlas among the God Emperor's faithful. I'm surprised she wasn't in league with the pirates.
Wow. Okay.
And I'm equally
really like the
surprised by
Seneschal,
how
but you
deep
hate
heresy
Adira.
and treason run in this place. I'm glad we all made it through that dark hour. May the day that follows be bright.
Okay. No more questions about
As
that.
wish.
Tell me about the Adeptus Sororitas. I really don't know much about them.
More faithful to the God Emperor than my sisters. We fight against his enemies by the will of the Holy Ecclesiarchy.
Okay.
We... I beg your pardon, rogue trader. Here I am talking about what every lesser noble in the Imperium knows. So what exactly are you interested in hearing about?
Crime boy. They say the Adeptus Sororitas are the fiercest in their faith amongst the warriors of the Imperium. Is that true?
It is. The
Of course she's
Sisters
gonna
of
say it is.
Battle are a fire lit by the God Emperor. They are the echo of his voice that travels through the dark expanses of the universe. We bring his wrath to heretics, mutants, and other enemies of humanity. We protect the faithful from the unholy and unhallowed. Sometimes with words. More often than not with a bolter.
Get them. Fair enough, I guess. Are all sisters truly as faultless as you say?
Even the novices of the Adeptus Sororitas are drawn from among the most worthy. Those who have taken the vows and become a
Super
full-fledged
nuns.
sister are the best of the best, tested by trials of body and spirit. Yes,
Super
there
nuns
have
with
been
guns.
cases when a sister stumbled.
Is that
or
where?
showed
That's. I feel like that's where
weakness.
the whole idea
But
for
do
these
not
people,
expect to
these
hear
women
a story
started.
of
It's just nuns
depravity
with
or
guns.
downfall from me.
Like someone has said that, and I was like, yeah, that's funny. Let's do that.
Each such occurrence is a great tragedy for us all. Light cannot bear the smallest speck of darkness within. And thus those who have trespassed or shown weakness of spirit are given a chance at redemption. They are called Sisters Repentia, and may the enemy
Repentant
tremble
sisters,
before
got
her.
it.
For nothing can stop a sister of battle who yearns to be cleansed of faults and weakness. Wearing nothing but robes, no armor,
No armor.
eviscerator in hand. Those sisters who have once faltered find repentance
Remind me
on
of
the battlefield.
like Slayer dwarves
Their lives
from
are seldom
the fantasy
long,
version.
but a
of
death
Warhammer.
in the name of purgation is a better fate than to live
I
with
did
a
something
shadow
wrong, and I'm
in
gonna
one's
go
soul.
get myself killed about it. So what order are you from?
Once I had completed my novitiate, I was sent to the Calixian branch of the Order of Our Martyred Lady,
Whatever that is.
assigned to the Order's Pronatus.
Whatever that is.
The Order's mission is vital and noble. The Sisters Pronatus protect great relics of the Imperium. We guard them, preserve them, escort them when they are brought onto the battlefield or presented for pilgrims
Okay.
to venerate.
So I'm getting this right. The Order's Pronatus is a collection of multiple orders, such as Order of Our Martyred Lady, and their goal is to protect relics.
And
Understood.
we seek out the relics that have been lost. Neither a coven of heretics nor the most wicked death world can deter Sisters Pronatus when their goal is to return a piece of the great legacy of the Imperium into the hands of the
Ooh, a
faithful.
lore check. Has succeeded in Imperium lore check. The Order Pronatus is not one of the Order's militant, and yet you are a trained fighter.
Don't let the name deceive you. The Order's militant trains sisters to march onto the battlefield as an army. That does not make sisters who belong to the non-militant orders timid and helpless.
Understandable.
Both the solace-bringing Sisters Hospitaller and the
Sisters
enlightened
Hospitaller.
Sisters Dialogus know how to greet
Okay.
enemies of humanity.
A lot
Their
of
dialogue with
terms
heretics
getting
is
thrown around,
usually
but I like them.
quite
They're
short,
interesting.
with the last
Sisters
word being a
Dialogus.
bolter discharge.
Maybe it's just because I took Latin in school, so I like seeing it integrated this way. Interesting.
And my order has all the more reason to be known for the martial prowess of its sisters. We are the keepers of the Imperium's relics. What would become of our blessed hero's legacy if the Sisters Pronatus could not protect it?
You said you belong to the Calaxian branch of your order. What brought you to the Cronus Expanse?
The order sent me to
I
Footfall.
don't really know what Calaxian
My
means.
undertaking was to assist the local priesthood of Drusians in caring for a sacred reliquary that had been there since the time of Parson Mr. Wayne, the station's founder.
Drusians are followers of the cult of St. Drusus, a legendary hero in the Angevin Crusade who founded the Calixus sector. Okay. I can get that. Are there any other members of the Sororitas
None that
here?
I'm aware of, but the Sisterhood's orders are many, and can operate independently of one another, sending their sisters wherever their presence is needed as deemed by the Ecclesiarchy. Perhaps somewhere in the Lord Inquisitor's retinue, may his path be blessed, my sisters perform their duty as we speak. I wish it were so.
Oh, and the
Even a single
Inquisitors,
evening
yeah.
spent in joint prayer
Okay.
and training would bring me joy.
Well, maybe we'll find some. No more questions about that.
Should any more arise, keeping them to yourself would be imprudent. It is a virtue to take an interest in holiness.
It's like, please talk to me about, please. What is it keeping you in my retinue?
This ship was targeted by heretical pirates, which means that my presence here and the assistance I provide to you are my sacred duty.
Okay.
Sooner or later, I will likely have to return to
That's where we're
Footfall
going anyway.
to protect its reliquary. But for now, I wish to remain a part of the rogue traders' crew.
I'm happy to have you here. Please see a servant of the Golden Throne. If you nah. Enjoy your company. Hope that you remain here. Yeah. You may be of some use to me, and I see no place for you on my ship. I enjoy your company, Argenta. I hope that you remain in the crew and that the ship becomes your home.
Those are very courteous words, rogue trader.
I'm a courteous guy. What can I
Thank
say?
you, both for your words
You're
and
welcome.
your hospitality.
Okay. What about this personal request? What
I
is that?
indeed have a request, rogue trader.
Oh, and the voice acting is gone. The accursed servants of chaos who assaulted this ship took the lives of your loyal crew members, and they orphaned many children, including the progeny of the brave officers who defended their posts until the bitter end. I don't know what customary practices there are for cases like this in Von Valencia's territory, but in the world I'm familiar with, the children of such brave souls could expect to receive some special consideration. Perhaps the rogue trader could meet with the orphans? What good would meeting with them do? Make arrangements for a meeting with the rogue trader. I will address them with a speech. I'll meet them, no formalities needed. Deliver this order on my behalf. They provided for it, but they don't get a meeting. Why would I? I'm going to say I'll meet with them. No formalities needed. These are the children of the people who gave their lives for the Von Valencius dynasty. My consideration is the least they deserve. Which is true. I believe that. I will pass on your instructions. Thank you for taking my request to heart. Are we going? Okay. Let's go. We'll drink some water. Okay. Clap, 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 clap. Hey, Abelard. I could tell by your golden helmet and your cool cape. Motley group of adolescents do not take their eyes off you, gazing at you as if you were a creature straight from a fairy tale. Our indefatigable sister has been keeping an eye on these pups. Abelard glances at the gathered children. It is hardly the Scala Progenium in here, but we have provided the orphans on our ship with adequate care and instruction. Scala Progenitum is a division of the ecclesiarchy responsible for the upbringing, education, and training of orphans. Okay. Orphan school! Argenta is standing to the side of the group. At your approach, she perks up and announces, her voice ringing. Brave ones, the master of this ship has appeared before you. Be the one who guides it through the darkness of the universe by the Emperor's will. Greet your Lord Captain, the rogue trader of House Von Valencius. You notice the Infernus Master, Heinrich Montag, standing a few paces away from the orphans. He watches you with approval and bows respectfully when you meet his gaze. Do you serve as a teacher in your spare time? Not at all, your lordship. Just looking out for him. It's the Infernus's way to help folks in trouble. It's our job, after all. So we chip in rations here and there and make sure no one gives them a hard time. We take the older ones into the clan's care if they want. Many in the guild are not our family by blood, but by circumstance. Okay, so I can grandly address them with a big speech. I can smile at them and just say that they greet you, or I greet them. Or I can give them treats and escort them to their homes. I believe a minute of beholding me is good enough now. I don't know. I want to just kind of stay relaxed, but maybe they would want like a big showy speech. For a just cause and brought honor to Valencia's banner and the Imperium. I'm proud of them. I believe you will come to worthy heirs. Yeah, I'll say that. The teenagers hang on every word with bated breath. Only a few at the far end seem sullen and not particularly impressed by your speech. One of the scowling visitors, with a thin scar across his face, tosses his head back and says bitterly, So what? Why should we care? Our friends and parents died in the dozens for you, noble lot, and you just give us speeches. That's fair. Argenta quickly turns to the boy. A flurry of emotions flashes in her dark eyes. She wants both to calm him and scold him for his impudence. Rest of the chaperones. Their comportment leaves much to be desired. I hope they will be molded into fully servants. This audience is over. No. Punish the troublemaker. Put the rest of their bays. His audience is over. No. Vernius masters, you are so concerned about the orphans. They are henceforth your clan. Falls to you to teach them the meaning of what their parents fought and died for. No. If you have things to say them without fear, and I will listen. Rest assured, you won't be abandoned. You'll be taken care of. If you have things to say them, dude. I won't mind. It doesn't matter what we say. It won't bring our parents back, and it won't change our fates either. We'll keep slaving away on the ship until we drop and die like our folks. Or worse. I'm going to skim these real quick because they're kind of long. A lot of these are all the same, right? Yeah, those are the same. I understand your grief, dismay, your parents died. Something you need to go through. Do not speak of their fate with anger and disdain. The heretics killed your parents, and I took command, fought others so quickly. Strong, the power to decide the fate of others, the weak obey or die. I'm going to say this middle one. When the heretics who killed your parents attacked the ship, I was there. I took command, I fought, and I repelled the assault as quickly as I could. Not just speeches. I was like in it. I'm not even really a noble. I am a criminal. I'm not saying that part, but you know. You heard the rogue traitor. His words carry the wisdom of the Imperium. It's hard to say whether or not your words have left an impression on the boy, but he nods slowly. Then he catches himself and gives you an awkward bow. Abelard gives a sign, and the servants immediately emerge, carrying packaged treats with Von Valentius emblazoned on the wrappers. It appears that the Seneschal came prepared for any contingency. Thank you, little treats. Little treats. Sorry your parents died. Here's some candy. Can you just, like, throwing them out? Yeah. 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 Jetta rubs her temple pensively. She smiles and offers a few words of encouragement and leaves the bay. Okay. Orphan dialogue over. Did a little spin first. Alright, Abelard, let's get out of here. Well, that was fun. Got to chit chat with some orphans. Do some words of encouragement. Oh, you're almost there. You're almost there. There we go. Oh, they put me back at the throne. Okay. So I talked to them. I talked to Argenta. I did not talk to the helmsman yet. The tall man before you appears to be woven from tendons and muscle. Blue veins snake under his white, almost dove-colored skin, and his scalp and chin are covered in cropped white hair. His neck and shoulders are wrapped in wires that hint the presence of neural connectors under his uniform. The officer's face is twisted in a perpetual grimace of annoyance and anger. He's got RBF. Me too, man. And he greets you with a respectful nod. Lord Captain, Master Helmsman Ravor at your service. You're Voidborn, are you not? That I am. Born into the Helmsman clan in the bowels of a Chartist vessel. Studied the family trade until I was 15. Then my entire clan was butchered in a mutiny by a lower hold scum. Dang. They spared the youngins. Of course they did. Kids with implanted connectors make great navigational servitors, but I was having none of it. They weren't going to make a servitor out of me, so I escaped into the crawlways, and I spent months picking them off, one after the other. Ravor stops abruptly. You got me talking up a storm. Anyway, yes, I'm a Voidborn. Hey, finish your story. It sounds badass, dude. And stay silent for a few seconds. Not much to tell. I gutted everyone I could get to and fled upward to the middle decks. That's where the auger operators took me under their wing. They have an apprentice helmsman of their own up there, you see. Nobody asked me any questions, so I stayed. I grew up, trained, got smarter, then ended up a junior helmsman. Dozen years later, Danrock spotted me and lured me away, the cheeky blighter. I'm a Voidborn too, but sure, tell me about him. Rinses and rubs his temple. I mean no disrespect, but you'd do better to find someone with a knack for conversation. Like Ptolemy. I did actually ask her about the Voidborn already. Good advice. I ain't the talking type. I just get the ship where she needs to go. Fair enough? What can you tell me about the other officers? Good for nothing wasters, that's what they are. Each and every one. Take Janus Danrock, the highborn weasel. Yeah, I hate that guy too. He fawns over the officers, but some of the deals he makes would get him buried alive. He drags other people into his schemes so they could take the fall for him, too. One of my junior helmsmen was ferrying goods from Footfall for him, got caught by the Seneschal, and ended up in the Void Hatch. Danrock couldn't care less. Man, what an ass. The Voxmaster, another Ptolemy like the last one, who will avoid rest him, is no better. She cut off half the Vox channels the day she took over post. She said the Vox systems were damaged and the Engineerium had no contact with the other modules. But how am I supposed to steer the ship? Collect the Cogs' reports with the power of my mind? Doesn't sound like it was her fault. First officer Worsarian, I can't stand him. Like every Navy officer I've ever met, he doesn't know the first thing about controlling a vessel in the void. But he puffs himself up all the same and throws his weight around. Me and him have had words a few times before he left me alone. Thank the Emperor, Lady Theodora trusted me more than the Seneschal when it came to helming a void ship. Then there's that woman. What's her name? Plas? Lady Theodora brought her along wherever she went, and look what happened to her. I wouldn't be surprised if it turns out that the witch that delivered her to an early grave, just like countless souls before. I don't see why anyone would want that walking calamity on their ship, but some would disagree. They say she's friends with young Tulliman, you know, or at least she used to be. I did hear about that. I think they were roommates, if you know what I mean. Tell me, do you like anyone at all? Ravor looks perplexed. What kind of question is that? I like you, and the Lady Theodora before you. Where would I be if I was making cracks about the rogue trader? Heh, I don't want to die just yet. Fair enough. Lord Captain. Okay, that's everyone on the bridge, it looks like. Yeah, we talked to her. Alright, Abelard, you're next.
Lord Captain.
Tell me more about yourself.
As you
I'm getting
wish,
the lay of
Lord
everybody
Captain.
around here, I guess.
What would you like to know?
What were you before you became Seneschal?
I used to be an officer in the Navis Imperialis.
That doesn't surprise me.
No.
Oh, he's voice acted, I
It
just
used to
noticed.
be
Thank
is not
goodness.
quite right. It was not simply a job. It was my calling. The essence of my life. I was proud to serve Lord Captain Theodora, but in my heart and mind, I'm still an officer of the Imperium. I met Lord Captain Theodora on a mission where the Imperial Navy was providing reinforcement to the rogue traders' army on one of the frontier worlds. Our acquaintance was not easy. Working with people outside the Navy hierarchy has never been my strong suit. It was to my great surprise then, that after the mission's completion, I received a referral to leave my service in the Navy and join the rogue traders' personal council. It was a difficult choice for me. But I saw in the offer a chance to serve the interests of humanity even more effectively than in the Navis Imperialis. You do not need me to tell you just how remarkable a person Lord Captain Theodora was. I recognized her at once as a true leader and formidable creative force. One who had built a protectorate amidst the dangers and wildness of the expanse.
Leaving the Imperial Navy is far from easy. Why were you permitted to quit your posts?
You could say there was no one among the naval command who was willing to impede the wishes of the rogue trader. To do so would be to risk their own position and their relationship with Theodora. Well, the Lord Captain possessed certain contacts in the Imperial Navy. Contacts which she used to request help during the conflict on the border world. And which enabled her to make me an offer that resulted in my joining her retinue.
Fair enough.
The Navis Imperialis is
coercion
an
test
ancient
succeeded.
institution with its own mandates.
Seems to crack
and
slightly
master
under
lists.
your intense stare.
On occasion, in the heat of an official briefing, or an informal discussion, I violated those rules, determined to press my point. It is challenging
So he
to
doesn't know
choose
when to
the
shut the
words
fuck
to
up.
accurately express my opinion on a situation or the actions of others that do not sound
Poor
overly
Abelard.
scathing or confrontational. Many in command were
Just doesn't
inclined
know how
to
to
view
be
my manner of
social.
speaking as unbefitting a person of my rank.
He's got social anxiety. Me too, bro. The way you talk about Theodora, I'm beginning to think you were in love with her.
What? Lord Captain, any allegations of improper feelings
Any
or
allegations
unsanctioned
of
relations are
improper
utterly
feelings.
baseless and bordering on the insulting.
I'm sorry, bro.
Utterly baseless.
You have a family?
I am a widower.
Oh, my bad.
I am a father of 4. And if my information is
The
not
tone
outdated,
changed very
my
abruptly
grandfather of
between
11.
those two choices.
My family lives on Dargonus. None of my children expressed any eagerness or aptitude for serving aboard ship. And I would hardly have insisted that they follow in my footsteps.
Thank you. No more questions.
Of course.
You can call me my first name
I
if you
thank
wish.
you for the honor.
Not
But I
that the
must
game is going to
decline.
know how to do that in
As
voice.
a former
but-
military officer, I believe in the importance of order in all things,
Fair.
including the chain of command. You are the Lord Captain, my direct superior. I am not prepared to address you in any way other than as regulation dictates.
Maybe one day we'll get there. We'll be on a first name basis, Abelard. I don't even know your last
A
name.
noble
Unless
aspiration,
that
Lord
is
Captain.
your last name?
I am ready to
I'm sure I
acquaint
got
you
told
with
at
all
some
the
point. Oh, I can
particulars
look
that
at the...
interest you.
That's cool. Outline the situation in the Expanse. What do I need to know and keep in mind?
This is a topic for an official briefing, not a casual conversation.
Fair
But
enough.
I will try to answer succinctly. And if you permit, in my own words,
Of course. I would hope that you would,
the
honestly.
Coronis Expanse is considerably removed from the heart of the Imperium. This means that
Okay.
local warp routes become useless within months.
Huh.
Established pathways are regularly subject to attacks from all kinds of rabble.
Okay.
And in the only major port, the Imperium's frigates find themselves moored alongside pirate vessels. Until recently, the Coronis Expanse could hardly have been called a region of the Imperium. The situation has changed with the arrival of the Lord Inquisitor.
That's like a
Not
very
by
new
much.
area. The Wild
This place
Westy.
operates under its own rules, you see. More radical, so to speak.
Yeah.
But ones that allow for a non-standard approach where there is a promise of victory. The Coronis Expanse is considered rogue trader territory for a reason. Only rogue traders have sufficient military might, audacity, and the rights granted them by the warrant to survive the leap into the unexplored part of the Expanse. And in the event of a successful outcome, to hold on to whatever they manage to capture on the frontier.
Okay, thanks for that curt explanation. What about the people here? Who are the
In
main
first
players?
instance, you should treat official representatives of the Imperium with respect.
Oh yeah, obviously.
The Expanse may be on the fringes, but it still numbers among the territories of the Golden Throne.
Lord Inquisitor.
The arrival of the Lord Inquisitor has turned.
Yeah, okay, I understand.
Rogue traders such as yourself are also servants of the Imperium. They have been accorded special rights and powers. They wield immense authority within their territory,
Right.
and they enjoy absolute respect in other parts of the Expanse.
And then the Winter
The most
Scale.
powerful of
Yeah,
them
we were
are
talking about that a
Kalagos
bit.
Winter Scale and Incendia Bastal Chorda.
Ooh,
Tread
okay.
carefully when dealing with either of them.
Names to remember, but I
If
won't.
we are to speak of unclaimed territory, which is what Footfall is, among the scum that dwells on that handful of asteroids, there are 3 factions that wield considerable influence in the sector. The first is the Kazbala Commission, organized crime in its most primitive form.
Okay.
It holds sway over the Liege of Footfall and has links to rogue trader Winterscale. The second faction is an offshoot of
Winterscale
our
is in with
shining
the mob.
ecclesiarchy, followers of St. Drusus. They are actively building their forces and hold influence over rogue trader Chorda.
Chorda's in
And
with
finally,
the Saints.
the third faction, the Explorators, a wing of the Adeptus Mechanicus.
Okay.
They are willing to die and kill for the secrets of the ancient
That may be
technological
where we get our
heresies that are
new
hidden among the stars
High
of the Coronis
Cogitator or whatever
Expanse.
his name was. His title. Kunrad, our previous Master of Whispers, what can you tell me about his betrayal? What do you think he'll do next?
You know, Lord Captain, I am no admirer of fine art. But when we next find ourselves in a civilized port, with time to spare, I will promptly find an artist and commission a portrait of the individual to whom you refer, with a hole between the
Oh
eyes.
my god, Abelard.
Conrad Voigtveer.
That's like a
But he
sick burn
committed
coming
his
from him.
treachery and escaped
I'm gonna
with his
commission
life was an
fancy art
unforgivable
of him with a
oversight.
bullet in the brain. I kind of love Abelard. I'm not a big fan of like the mindless emperor dogmatic following, but as a dude,
We
he's
both
pretty cool.
served Lord Captain Theodora for many years, and we never saw eye to eye. He was brash. He was never afraid of assuming responsibility, and he willingly took on difficult tasks. I am loath to admit it, but the Von Valancius Protectorate continues to reap the fruits of his labors to this day. His service always garnered my respect. But everything else about him made me want to wring the neck of that two-faced snake.
Okay,
If you are taking
that's
cover,
all for now.
as you wish,
I'm gonna
Lord.
take my leave.
Lord Captain.
Been talking to people for an hour already. We got Jascata Sourbeck. I'm not sure who you are. Voidsman at Arms. Go to my quarters. The High Factorum. Technomat. Okay, I only see like 2 more people to talk to. The High Factorum and this person. Jascata Sourbeck is the picture of discipline. Her uniform is exquisitely pressed, her armor is polished, and her posture is imposing and rigid. The only flaw in her immaculate appearance is the heavy enforcer's maul, which is worn and battered from frequent use. She salutes you with a practiced motion. Greetings, Lord Captain. Nice. Okay. I dig it. How did you come to serve my flagship? I was looking for like a who are you? I come from the noble Sourbeck family of the capital world of Dargonus. That's where Abelard's family was, right? I dare say that our house is renowned for its loyalty and strict adherence to the law, and the members of my family have been your faithful enforcers for centuries. I am honored to be the 6th Master-at-Arms named Sourbeck to serve on this ship. Okay. Why are you here instead of basking in the luxury of Dargonus? Because of my cousin, Macarius, a furious crease appears between her brows. I cannot stand him, but the feeling is mutual. We can hardly be in the same room together, so I jumped at the opportunity to become your enforcer. I should thank my obnoxious cousin for nudging me towards the best decision of my life. I serve you with all my heart and wish for no other fate than this one. Fair enough. You're wearing Imperial Navy army. How'd you get it? I inherited it from the previous Master-at-Arms. Like the esteemed Seneschal, he left the Navy to serve Lady Theodora. I remember way back in the prologue, I think there was a Master-at-Arms who was injured. Was this the lady that was like tending to him? Because that'd be really good attention to detail. I feel like I remember that. I'll have to pay attention to that if I play another playthrough. Sorry, I got distracted by that. Did I finish reading this? I think I did. Brought gossip with them and established tradition. Upon the death of an officer, they passed down the armor. What's your opinion on me as the Lord Captain? I do not doubt the astuteness of your decisions, but beyond that, I am impressed with you. I have heard about the brutal punishments you've endured. Decision consequences. So they know about my, like, bad thing. I forget what they called it. My, like, worst event. They have me getting tortured. Your tenacity deserves admiration. She looks away, but before he does so, you notice a spark in her eyes. Awareness tech succeeded. There's fire in the black depths of her gaze. If she could, she would devour you whole with her sidelong glances. I seem to be detecting something more than admiration from you. Then what about awe? She stares at your neck, right at the scar peeking out from under your collar. Her pupils dilate, and she licks her lips involuntarily. Thinking about what you have suffered leaves me trembling. Oh my god. We can discuss your admirations from private. Grab Jascata by the chin. In my chambers. 5 minutes. That's an order. Yes, Lord Captain. Flames of anticipation burn beneath Jascata's icy mask of loyalty. Uh-oh. Can I have this on stream? Okay. Alright, it's tame. Sarbeck lovingly strokes the stiff cord that is usually braided around the hilt of her weapon. It still retains the heat of her passion-charged flesh. I don't know if I should have read that out loud. She raises her eyes, full of dark satisfaction to you. It is an exceptionally rare sight, the Master of Arms utterly relaxed and content. Lord Captain, I have obeyed your orders well enough. Perhaps we shall do this again sometime. If it pleases the Lord Captain, next time I will bring along a few things from the interrogation room. You will most certainly find a use for them. Wow, okay. I did not expect that to go that way. All because I chose a certain background choice. That's funny. Beyond the glass, the distant stars glimmer in the darkness of endless space, filling you with a sense of dread. So if I didn't have the perception level or have chosen that certain negative, I wouldn't have gotten that. I wonder how common it is that people get to have that interaction. Unfinished letter. His chagrin is irrelevant. Voidgear's mistakes cost me too much. Years of work, tremendous resources, all wasted. He has failed at what he is supposed to do. Be irreproachable at uncovering spies, and this one was a senior officer. So that was his big mistake. He missed a spy in the officership. Interesting. Couldn't have served me for too long for his removal to go painlessly for the Protectorate. Besides, he is no fool. He could not have seriously expected to become the next in the Von Valencius line when his skills and talents, our Master of Whispers, are too valuable. Let his disinheritance serve as humiliating yet instructive lesson from which he may learn. Interesting lore drop. So she's just gonna hang out there for now. Okay. Some more goods. The final transactions with the Chartist are complete. The fiery reckoning is now fully equipped. The object has been loaded aboard with its containment intact and placed in the forebay to ensure maximum contact with the target. Sounds like it got equipped with a new weapon, but now it sounds like someone planted a bomb. Coordinates sent and received by the bridge. Target estimate, time of arrival in system. Fiery reckoning is crewed by a servitor hive. Chances of the ship returning are minimal. I didn't really understand that very much at all, to be honest. Okay. Moving on. What do we got? My god, that thing has so many tongues. The long, dead eyes of this fierce monster forever capture the fear and pain. Hey, what was your name again? Joscata, we got something for next time over here. Just so you know, Master of Ablutions? Can I talk to you? Would you like to take a bath? Yeah, I could use a bath after what I just went through. This designated bath time. Oh, I got little servant dudes to help me feed me stuff. Is he on the phone? Okay. This is nice. Soothing water caresses your senses and your grateful muscles welcome the chance to rest. A pleasant languor spreads throughout your body as you allow yourself a moment of relaxation. I wish to see someone from my retinue. You two, get in here. Bring in someone from my retinue. Which of them would you like me to summon, your lordship? Abelard, I simply cannot bathe without my loyal seneschal. This is hilarious. I love group bath time as a concept. This is so funny. Adira, she always livens things up, or Argenta. I wish to know what the sisters battle do in their spare time. I feel like I've talked to both of these people already, so let's talk to Adira at once. Deer takes a long draw from her hookah. Okay. Playfully blows a few smoke rings as she lounges lazily nearby. This is nice. 5 of my cabins could fit in here, and don't get me started on that rusty nook I call a shower. But I'm pretty sure you didn't call me in here just so I'd die of envy, did you? What are you smoking over there? Just a mix of low and obscura. Got a kick to it. Not enough to knock you out, but enough to help you relax and distract you from your worries. Hey, give me a puff of that. Of course, Lord Captain. Adira gives you a sly grin as she blows a thick cloud of smoke in your direction. Carouse test succeeded. Gray serpents of caustic smoke slither into your nostrils until reality becomes a blur. Your thoughts grow slow and sluggish, merging together into a bizarre kaleidoscope of mental imagery. After a while, the haze dissipates and the images arrange themselves into the shape of Adira's face. She's watching you, curiously. Can you hear me, Lord Captain? Are you alright? A kick is certainly one way of putting it. Wait till the crash gets you. Uh-oh. Still, you're one tough Nutribar. I've watched seasoned voidsmen struggle to say 2 words after just a couple of drags. But here you are, clear-eyed and talking sense. Tell me a joke. What's the difference between a warp storm and a dispute at the Adeptus Administratum? At least there's a chance a warp storm might end. Do you know any more? How many tech priests does it take to change a lumen? 3. 1 to wave a censer, 1 to pray to the Omnissiah, and a 3rd to savoritize a serf to do all the work for them. That was actually pretty good. Alright, one final joke. Make it a good one. What do you call an unsanctioned psyker's cabin? I don't know. What do you call it? An emergency airlock. I like it. Okay. That'll be all. Adira gets up reluctantly. Have a nice soak, Lord Captain. Alright, relax. Tension slowly retreats as you bring yourself to complete stillness, joint by joint, muscle by muscle, pore by pore. Before long, you have surrendered the bastion of your body to the bliss of oblivion. Troubles, worries, loss, such things do not belong in this newly established dominion of tranquility. They're only the infinite waters of weightlessness in which, stripped of all things superficial, the mind of Zale von Valentius drifts in silent bliss. It is a conscious mind. What fills this consciousness? Sticking to Iconoclast. I could say thoughts of monumental duty to the Emperor, or thoughts of the price paid for power, the innocent past through which power is obtained, and that people, things will sacrifice. One day I'm going to play a heretical path, but not today. Thoughts of those who will keep him afloat in these waters, who will drown, and who will manage to pull to the surface. Strands of fate are fragile, yet woven together they are strong. Not everyone is destined to see this voyage through to the end, but no one will be forgotten. I like it. Address the enforcers. You two, get in here. I require company and pleasant conversation. The enforcers exchanged a puzzled glance. Do you mean us, your lordship? There's no need to be shy. Come relax with me for a moment. Orders received, your lordship. We'll recommence relaxation immediately. Yes, bro. The enforcers are lean and muscular. They sit down awkwardly in the bathtub, clearly fidgeting at the urge to stand at attention. Oh my god, I love this. Enforcer Nima. What would you like to talk about, your lordship? We await your orders. You seem tense. Your orders are to enjoy some of this food and Amasek. The enforcers are barely able to conceal their excitement as they shove delicious delicacies into their mouth and wash them down with obscenely expensive drinks. Don't throw up. They have never experienced anything like this before and likely never will again. It's a feast they will not soon forget and a story they will tell to their grandchildren one day. Hey, feed me too. It'll be done, Lord Captain. The woman reverently slices pieces of exotic fruits and rich-smelling cheeses into your mouth. Places slices of. And the man brings a cup of Amasek to your lips to wash it all down. They do everything for you except chew and swallow, but you suspect they would if you gave them the order. Tell me about yourselves. Do you have any other responsibilities besides guarding these chambers? For hundreds of years, our clan has been responsible for ensuring a road trader's safety during times of leisure and relaxation. The enforcer's voice filled with pride. I guard the bath chamber, just as my grandmother did before me, and she trained me and instructed me in her duties of standing guard. This bath chamber can be more dangerous than a battlefield sometimes. You could slip on a wet tile. You could choke and drown. If the water is too hot, you could burn. If it's too cold, you could freeze. There have even been cases where angry machine spirits have released sparks of their fury into the water. And of course, there have been numerous assassination attempts and toasters. The woman stops abruptly as the enforcer loudly clears his throat. It's reassuring to know my enforcers are prepared for anything. We live to serve, your lordship. We'll keep you safe. What do you do in your free time? When we're off duty, we train, maintain our equipment, and pray at regulation-approved intervals. If we do have some time to ourselves, we might play some Tantalo. That one doesn't have a thing. I don't know what Tantalo is. And Bran over there carves out things out of soap scraps. She nods at her partner, though for the most part, we barely get enough time for rest, let alone leisure. Pass Bran a piece of soap and a knife. I demand a demonstration, Bran. The enforcer looks slightly flustered, but he quickly gets to work. After a while, he presents you with a bust of the Emperor, about half the size of your palm. The Emperor's visage has been recreated with incredible precision and attention to detail. The small carving surpasses the work of many a skilled sculptor. I shall have it placed in my study. He said it. It said it's really good. So, you know. The enforcer is speechless with amazement. His eyes shine with pride. I am not worthy of such an honor. Thank you, your lordship. You may relax here until I am finished bathing. We would consider it a great honor, your lordship, but please do not tell the master at arms we joined in your ablutions. Mistress Sourbeck will beat us bloody if she finds out. Don't look in the next room. Finish. You feel revitalized. This was truly an experience worthy of a rogue trader. Oh my god. I love that. That was so funny. Designated bath time. I'm doing that again. I'm bringing in a different companion next time. More rocks. Oh, we've been here. This is, where she died. Fine sculpture made from strange metal to absorb any rays of light that fall upon it. Liturgies are faithful to his word and name. The text is faded. Appears to be a prayer book kept open for a very long time on that page. Position of the pieces suggests that this game of regicide was interrupted. The winner was never determined. Glinting of the displayed weapons is mesmerizing. You've never seen many of these articles before. Link my account. Oh, I should read things before I click them. What the heck? Okay. Let's close that. Right, my bad. Lord Captain's personal cogitator on Valencia's ancestry records. And a clock. Okay. Shrine of Remembrance. Is this backers or something? This is probably backers. Vault. I'm assuming I can store things here. Yes, yes. I don't really know what I need on me and what I can store yet. Like, can I store these quest items? I'm assuming is what these outlined things are. Don't know. Light glinting out the polished skull of some unknown Xenos makes it seem like the bony face is mocking you. Interesting. Bookshelves are packed with ancient books and piles of papers and tomes. Many look rather worn. I already clicked on the organ last time I was here. That goes to the bridge. Another big book. Hefty tome contains schematics of the flagship of the house, in addition to the plethora of notes. Majestic portrait painted by a skilled artist greets guests who have been granted permission to enter her quarters. Okay. I don't think there's anything else for me here, so I'll go back down to the bridge. Finish having my conversations with everyone. High Factorum was next. The corpulent man in lavish clothes bows before you, not without difficulty. Servo's skull whirs over his shoulder, while the fingers of his augmented hand drum against the sheaf of papers he is holding, and he regards you with attentive interest through the lens of his magnifying implant. Greetings, your lordship. Janice Denrock at your service. How's the stream health going? Stream's healthy. Okay. Have you ever heard the name Fiery Reckoning? From what I can tell, it's a void ship of some sort. There was a mention of it in one of Theodora's documents. Thinks for a moment, pursing his lips in concentration. I'm afraid it is not immediately familiar to me, your lordship. Please allow me a moment. He starts rapidly tapping on the screen of his data slate. I say. House Valencius did indeed sign a contract with the owners of a vessel with the designation Fiery Reckoning. There are transactions, records of the ship picking up cargo from Kiava Gamma. Well, this is odd. The log ends there. Apparently the ship had some interactions with one of the workshops on your industrial world. I beg your pardon, your lordship, but that's the extent of the assistance I can provide you on this particular matter. Okay. Remind me, what is it you do on my ship? The High Factorum, my duties encompass anything that might enrich you and your protectorate. I see to it that the suppliers deliver all shipments on time, and our partners do not weasel out of their promises, and all servants remember that the Emperor's grace can only be earned through toil for the good of the Von Valencius dynasty. I agree. I also make arrangements to ensure that our hold receives less than thorough inspections by port custom officers, and find buyers for whatever you wish to sell. I thought I must be reading it wrong, because why would you want a less than thorough inspection? But by customs, yeah, that makes sense. How did you come to serve Von Valencius? He's from Dargonus as well, okay. Been a subject of your dynasty since birth, and have strived to be of use to the great rogue trader always. At last, it was not my fate to be the primary heir of my own family, due to being the 15th in line, so I decided not to stand in the way of those behind me in case they attempted to shorten the waiting list at my expense. Good call. Good call. While my brothers and sisters schemed against one another, I studied the exact sciences and mastered bookkeeping, the greatest art of the Adeptus Administratum. I must admit that the accumulation of wealth, something one can control, is far more exciting than hunting, carousing, and the other traditional amusements of my noble peers. What was it like working for Theodora? Now that's a tricky question, your lordship. Do you ask it of everyone, knowing they risk losing their head should they let slip a careless remark about your predecessor? Fair enough, honestly. It's a good point. I shall put it thus. Working with Lady Theodora was never bothering and always profitable. The Imperium has billions of subjects, but very few do what they love and what they are best suited to. I would say Lady Theodora was one of the fortunate ones. She was a model rogue trader and surrounded herself with those who excelled at and loved their work. Hers was a rare talent indeed. What do you think of the rest of the crew? Keeping ties with your subordinates, a wise move. Tell me what interests you, and I'll endeavor to be as honest as possible. He's obviously eager to speak his mind. What do you think of Abelard? Lady Theodora managed to do what even the Imperial Navy could not. Teach Master Wassarian to carry out orders that he fundamentally disagrees with. I do not know what methods she used, but the result is impressive. Love. I'm gonna go with love, is the method she used. He was infatuated by her. Having said that, there is something else you need to know. Your seneschal is capable of being something far greater than a mere conduit for your will. He possessed the cunning and experience to run the Protectorate passively whenever Lady Theodora was away, and that really says something. Keep an eye on that old officer, or alternatively, turn him into a faithful ally. I agree, he seems like he'd make a really good ally. What do you think about Voitvir, the former Master of Whispers? I hope I never see him set foot on this vessel again, even as a servitor. Although, he would at least be able to do some good that way. Someone has to clean the latrines after all. I like that. I like the way you think. Let's make him the toilet scrubber. The Factorum's floated face grows stern. He gave us all quite a fright on that ill-fated day, Lord Captain. And still, to speak candidly, I never enjoyed Master Voigtvir's company, but I believed him to be a man who knew how to do his job. Regretfully, I was mistaken. It turned out Kunrad lacked the most important quality for a Master of Whispers, unwavering loyalty to the rogue trader, and his failing came to light in the most deplorable manner. What do you have to say about the Voxmaster? Ah yes, the Voidborn. Hey, me too. You know, in my family, we use such creatures as quarry whenever we went hunting. Bro, I am Voidborn. You're telling this to a Voidborn. Fuck yourself. Mutants are the bane of humanity. An unseen tumor that threatens to end us all, but I digress. In the brief time Ptolemy has spent in the post as Voxmaster, I have not noticed any significant flaws in her character. You're going out the Voidlock ASAP, by the way. Needless to say, she's very diligent, as is any Voidborn seeking to earn their master's affection. I believe you can trust her in skills and loyalty. I want to know more about the people who buy or plunder. Oh, maybe I don't. That's a lot. Of course, Lord Captain, who interests you exactly? We most often deal with the followers of St. Drusus, the Explorators, Casablanca, Casbalica mission, or Emperor Forgive Us Fellowship of the Void. Okay. Tell me about St. Drusus followers. The Drusians still hope to bring the Coronis Expanse into the warm embrace of the faith. Just as their flock hopes to receive the aid of the Drusian missionaries, each crate of food, shipment of clothes, or box of medicine marked with your seal is a sign the rogue trader himself believes in the sect's future success. Reverend Hieromonius is the first among the Drusians and is most often seen in Footfall's Grand Atrium. A gloomy fellow, but some almost believe him to be a saint. Tell me more about the Explorators. Members of the Explorator Cogniscience fleet, which has been roaming the Cronus Expanse for a good while now. Omnissiah knows what they're hoping to find, but their acolytes regularly show up in inhabited worlds seeking bits of sacred knowledge, tracking down mechanical relics, and sniffing out Xeno artifacts. If truth be told. Supposedly, they want to save the ignorant rabble from corruption. A tech priest named Opticon 22 does business with us on the fleet's behalf. He can be found at the docks on Footfall. Sounds like they're looking for Necron stuff, right? Interested in the Casbilica mission. Members of the Cold Trade, immoral criminals, and notorious crooks to the last man. The mission is but one branch of this mafia gang that's taken root in the Calixis sector. That's where Argenta's from. Senator is next to the frontier region. Okay. You can do business with them as long as you take the necessary precautions. They are led by Vladame Tokara, who recently appointed himself Liege of Footfall. Of course, he is a trusted ally, and a trusted ally of the rogue trader Winterscale, right? But he will not refuse you. Another of the Emperor's anointed. If you wish to talk to Vladam, look for him in the Liege's palace on Footfall. Right. What is the Fellowship of the Void? He emits a laugh-like gurgle. Ho, 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 ho. The pompous name, is it not? In truth, they are a gang of pirates who are forever squabbling over loot and territory. However, some of their flotillas need supplies, or can take awkward cargo off our hands without asking questions. Of course, there's always a risk that these scoundrels will change their mind and attempt to board us instead, but so far our macro cannons have managed to keep them in line. They say Riza Calvaria speaks on the Fellowship's behalf, and the Adeptus Amacicus on Footfall is rumored to be her favorite haunt. Adeptus Amacicus, okay. Are we giving away our spoils to these people in the first place? No, I'm not gonna say that. Yeah, let's change the painting of Theodora to me. He bows obsequiously. It will be done, your lordship. Is that just gonna be my, like, portrait that I picked at the beginning? I wish to bolster my retinue with skilled fighters. Rest assured that people, the most outstanding talents when your crew, I'll contact the overseers at once. Oh. What? 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 Did I... Was I... Am I, like, making another custom character to add to my party? So it's like I can hire a goon, I guess, to add to my party, I'm assuming. Retinue and I are in need of training. Sparring chambers? The cost of future progress resets. Oh, okay. Reset progress. Good to know. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Okay, I think I'm finally ready to move on. It's only been an hour and a half. Bridge Technomat, Servitor. Oh, there's sirens going by. I'm gonna mute real quick. Okay, I think they're gone. Yeah, it looks like there's no one else to talk to. Does this go anywhere? To another compartment. So I can go to my quarters, to the shrine, or to the chapel. Yeah. I don't know if this is something I want to do, like, now, or come back to later. But might as well check the whole ship out before we move on, I say. Oh my goodness, okay. Commerce, 85%. Let's talk to the Confessor. Professor Adalbart, a plump, rosy-cheeked old man, is lighting candles, taking his time with each. Glints of fire dance on his heavy golden aquila, and in his sky-blue eyes as he addresses you smiling. The Emperor protects your lordship. Are you here to pray, or have mundane matters brought you to me? There's an incredibly profound quality to his voice as he speaks with mesmerizing timbre. I don't really know how to pronounce that, honestly. Did Lady Theodora come here often? She always had due concern for the reliquary's maintenance and its needs, and under her rule, faith occupied its proper place on the ship. He gives you a diplomatic smile. Sure. Tell me more. Is this the only place of worship on the ship? I know there are multiple sancta on every deck where the subjects pray fervently and the clergy keeps close watch on the firmness of their faith. This, on the other hand, is the holiest of holy places where only the noblest among your servants are permitted to step foot. I want those other decks to be able to partake in this as well. His eyebrows arch upward. Truly a most generous and gracious gesture, lordship. I will arrange for commoners who have distinguished themselves in their service to be allowed in here. An event like that will fill them with fervor as they pass down the memory of what they have seen to their offspring. Where does this collection of relics come from? Every relic we have here was either arduously tracked down by your ancestors, captured in battle against the faithless, or received as a gift for glorious deeds. A show of loyalty to the Emperor that speaks for itself, does it not? He makes no effort to conceal his pride. For our part, we keep these precious relics intact and undisturbed as we conduct liturgies and perform rites. Initiate Zeke is especially diligent for his care of the relics, though he is of common stock. He's earned his positions through dedication and piety. You're brimming with joy. He laughs good-naturedly. A fair observation. Everyone knows the clergy must maintain a stern appearance to inspire fear and awe. This truth is that my clan and I experience great hardship. I cannot explain how it is I am standing before you now except for his will. What happened to your clan? Scarcely more than a child with a malady struck our cabins. First it'd be a fever, then the unlucky victim would start retching blood. After that they would melt away like a candle. Only the youngest survived, myself among them. But now my family is growing and I'm grateful. I have other topics to discuss. I'm gonna take my leave. I think I am a little bit tired of reading people talking, and I'm sure you're probably tired of listening. Period of victim, the shards of an unknown and villain crusade, warrior twin blades returned from the pirate captivity to the grace of the Empire. I am curious about some of these relics, though.
That's how it's done.
Among the antique weapons, you spot the mall known as Ferrum Fatum. Legend has it, man, that goes way quick, that its head split when it cracked open the skull of the loathsome demon Rezinar the Flayer. Okay. Rex Regalia, particularly restored blade of Zathudas the Earnest, a missionary who decimated the abominable Xenos and fell in deathly battle against the unrighteous. Machine is the shrine. Confessional limits low hum. Okay. That's how to leave.
This is intriguing.
Oh. What the fuck? A power maul rests inside the glass. The inscription on the reliquary reads, I am Wrath. I am the cleansing. Whoever wields me walks in the footsteps of Furia. Push. What? What? Huh? What?
Keep your wits about you.
Oh my gosh. What is this nonsense? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't have 5 people though.
How may I serve the dynasty?
Because that's probably gonna light up. Oh. No?
The future
I have to
is
spell
never certain.
Furia, don't I?
Fate
But does it
and
stay
fortune
compressed?
favor the bold.
Oh, that's Abelard on there. not
We
me.
are the spearhead of the
It does not.
Imperium.
F. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna guess I need 5 people
Look no
for this.
further.
Always keep your eye
That's
on the
funny though.
prize.
Okay, so there's a little puzzle and you can get like a cool mace.
I
Commerce.
always get the job done.
Ancient looking chainsword without a fuel engine rests in the weapon rack. The shape of its teeth makes you think of the Ulma Universalis, a pattern from the Angevin Crusade era. Whatever all that meant. Skeleton inside the sarcophagus is holding a spherical object gleaming with gold. The Apple of Eden? Confessor. The Anquila Anima, a fragment of the Cathedral of Eternal Redemption. Offer a prayer. Abelard would definitely pray to this. Oh, it's me. Okay. The one you remembered best. What does that mean? Okay.
I know how to take risks.
Okay. Let's go.
I always keep my options open.
Another compartment. The last was the chapel. If there's a bunch of people to talk to in here, I'm just gonna peace out. I've got one thing left to check out before I leave. I might as well do it. Staring at me with burnt eyes like I'm a leper. Just passing through, alright, you lot can calm down. Okay, so they don't like having Adira in here. Astropath. They're staring at me with burnt eyes. I think she said the same thing again. It's just all a bunch of astropaths and servants.
I always have a backup plan.
Just stuff in the way of the screen everywhere. I can 100% logic this.
Success is the only outcome
Machine
I
uses its many
accept.
quills to commit the astropath's whispers to paper, then sorts the resulting raw blah blah. Okay. Sure. Goods. Give me your stuff. Give me your stuff. Stealing stuff from myself to then resell. Service skull.
Rise to the top.
Anything over here?
Or get left in the dust.
Nothing to interact with. Back of the throne is smeared with something dark red and old. Blood. Melted robes. Goods. Hey, you got some tools? Gimme. They're mine now. Haha! I am the rogue trader. I trade roguishly. Underneath the grill, you can see enormous outlines of formidable machines in a greenish haze. Oh, what the heck? This guy's smoking. The last beacon cannot be saved from the 13th storm. The lapsed father's beloved son will open his yawning maw. Okay. That dude just stopped hammering. He's like, what? Oblivion is inevitable. After the boundless sunset comes the horrific sunrise brought forth into the wailing world from the womb of... Oh, man. We lost one over here, guys. Thanks, buddies. The dawn, eh? You don't say. Tira, you got anything to say about that? You were talking about a dawn somewhere. Zachary Weiss. Oh my god. Choirmancer Zachary Weiss, an old man in a long green robe, stands motionless in front of a cogitator. The closer you approach, the clearer you can hear his continuous, unintelligible whisper. You're about to call his name when he falls silent sharply and turns towards you first. Lord Captain, a visit from the rogue trader is an honor for us. Like other astropaths at the chapel, astropaths are sanctioned psychers who send and receive messages. Got it. Choirmancer's eyes are bandaged over with time-worn scrolls of sacred manuscripts. Nevertheless, you cannot shake the feeling that his otherworldly glowing gaze is studying you keenly. How can I be of use? Lord Imperium succeeds. Sanctioning is a brutal procedure, one which robs every astropath of the gift of sight, but in return they gain a new kind of vision that allows them to see what ordinary people cannot. Tell me about the choir. What's the device? It's a sacred compiler that helps us record, store, and to an extent unriddle messages. Just giant scroll. The biggest freaking scroll ever to scroll. Okay. Slogs every word. La la la. Yeah. Your machine knows the meanings of the symbols. Why can't it decode it itself? Regrettably for us all, astropathic messages are not deciphered dispatches, but rather psionic imprints containing information. Only an astropath can read the entirety of something created through the medium of the warp. Furthermore, messages passed through materium, they might become distorted. So if you wanted to hide certain information from me, you could. My duty is to shield you from the monstrous communications that filter through the warp, the screams of the Emperor's loyal servants, centuries dead by now, the nightmarish, maddening images of the Sea of Souls, the cursed symbols that cause astropaths to convulse in violent fits of frenzy, messages from the abominations in search of weak minds to devour. Concealing all of that from you is my duty. Well, thank you. How does one become an astropath? Or part of the Imperial Tithe, psychers delivered to Terra on the Black Ships. Dreadful Imperial void ships that transport psychers by the numerous worlds. Ah, I've heard of this, but only the few candidates had what it took to study astrophy. Fewer still successfully completed the grueling training eligible for soul binding. So the Black Ships are the ones that deliver psychers to the Emperor to be like psionically used as batteries, basically, for him. Throws his head back. We were given the privilege to behold the Emperor's light, a light flawless and searing. Yeah. Something happens to require, where can I find new astropaths? It would be more important to say when something happens. More prudent to say when something happens. The Emperor's blessing protects us from warp influence, but it's inevitable. Yeah. There's one way to secure astropaths, and that is through the Adeptus Administratum. Luck permitting, unattached astropaths from the sector will be posted to the ship. Ones who, for whatever reason, have lost their place in service. Failing that, the request will go to Terra, and we will have to wait a long time. That said, there are other options, blasphemous, forbidden options. Unsanctioned psychers, unprotected and broken souls who seldom live past their first few seances, but even those would do should the God Emperor put our souls through severe trials. And judging by how rabid the warp has been of late, by the number of dead astropaths, those trials will be on us sooner than our prayers could reach Terra. I know a couple places where you can get new astropaths. That's, of course, if you don't insist on them all being classy and proper like this fried-eyed bunch. Is there an odd noise in here? It's the mental focusing technique required by your flagship's choir that I invented myself. This music was written by an astropath. What my charges and I hear in it is not what ordinary people hear. Interesting. Witness the death of one of your astropaths, what happened? Choir Master sighs, makes the sign of the Aquila. May the God Emperor rest his soul and protect him from the ruinous powers' tenacious claws. That was the 5th one this month. Our younger voices could not handle the warp storms raging in the expanse and end up losing their minds. Yeah, it's barely audibly, if they're lucky. Something's afoot on the other side of the mall, Lord Captain. Something infinitely sinister, something disastrous. Some kind of dawn or daybreak I've been hearing. Scraps of mental images reach us from the Imperium that carry the mark of doom. The images emanating from there are like a beast baring its teeth. Lore warp test succeeded. You have heard accounts of disturbances in the warp affecting psychers, especially astropaths who delve most deeply into the immaterium. But there have been more and more alarming stories of late. Something is raging in the warp. Cicatrix maledicta, a huge warp storm stretching across the galaxy as a result of a catastrophic rift in real space. Something that poses a particular threat to those with psychic powers. I'm an Iconoclast follower. You must tend to your choir. I shall give food, recaf, and relaxing balms delivered. I'm pretty sure you're concerned perhaps these small indulgences will give them strength and save someone's life. Later. Okay. Sigma. Oh man, there's a bunch of stuff up here too. Chapel servants and servo skulls. I can logic something.
Just as I planned.
Once the text is ready for final interpretation, the compiler sends it to the choir master along with lists of final meanings. Alright, you have a name. What do you want? Protects us from the machine spirit's unrest, and without his gifts, sacrifices are fruitless. You can barely hear the voice of the young astropath standing very still next to the bulky mechanism, his face frozen in a mask of despair, his anemic hands pressed to his chest, clutching crumpled strips of thick paper. He hears you approach and composes himself. The engine seer, his head lowered, does not so much as glance in your direction. With hands folded underneath his robe, he makes barely audible, unpleasant sound. A prayer in technolingua. Collection of dialects used by Dumpling Mechanicus and its tech priests can be used as spoken language with audio bursts or as machine code with electrical signals. Why are you all crowded next to this thing? Apologies, your lordship. It's a regrettable necessity. A sacred compiler is ailing, your lordship. A gloom has come over the machine spirits, and they are disrupting the mechanism's operation. The 12th row of the drum is now adding incorrect symbols. The man shows you a stack of papers. You notice that the rows of squiggles in each line all end with the same glyph. We summoned the servants of the Omnissiah, but the machine spirits are none too eager to heed their prayers. The esteemed engine seer is in a state of tech prayer trance and hasn't moved from the spot in a day now. He shrinks his head into his shoulders timidly. I had the audacity to think the sacred compiler could be better helped by examining his parts. But who am I to question the secret knowledge of the Adeptus Mechanicus? Why such a trifle of an error? He exclaims in astonishment. Imagine a single extra character creeping its way into the coordinates for a warp jump and sending the flagship to the center of a star. Imagine the word disloyal becoming isloyal, resulting in thousands of your faithful servants falling victim to treachery. That's fair. Nothing is a trifle to an astropath. Let's see if there's any way I can help. Compiler out of order. Okay. This is like a whole quest. Mechanism rotates steadily, adding dry clicking. Okay. Wow, this thing is interesting. I could watch this thing just spin all day. Okay. It's 78%.
That's how it's done.
Okay. I did it. Once clean of the candle wax that had seeped inside. I didn't read it. Okay, so it literally just wax had gotten onto it. Oh my god, you guys. By the Emperor, man.
I always get the job done.
Did I just level up? Wow. The receivers and normal reels direct paper tapes containing something or other. Containing unprocessed text into the chapel's depths. Wow. So we're just like, I just leveled up entirely off of just clicking stuff. Come on, 78%.
Just as I planned.
Sensors that fail the text captator are dead. Prayer to Omnicide makes it better.
Let us not dawdle.
Voices blend in unnatural unison. Okay. So let's go back over here. We received 5 lashes for violating protocol item 593.62. What did you do, bro?
Sometimes you consult the appropriate treatise on Tactica Imperialis and weigh every step. Sometimes, though, you just fire your biggest cannon and save the day.
I agree. Abelard, I like that. That's good. Astropath. Hello. Why can't I talk to them? I fixed it. No.
Keep your wits about you.
78%. One more
I'll
time.
learn from this mistake.
Learn from this mistake. No. Did I mess it up? I'll learn from this mistake, he said, so I assume it failed. I should probably read the actual journal. Has been fixed, has been fixed, has been fixed. I mean, I still fixed it, I guess? Now what? Okay. I did it. Can I tell someone I did it? Sigma. I fixed the thingy.
Is there money to be made?
Mm-hmm. Can I tell you I fixed it? Nope. Did I miss something? Maybe I have to do it the other logic test. Compiler sends it to the choir master. Yeah, I already read that. I figured that I would just talk to them again to tell them, hey, I did it. I did. Issue affecting has been fixed. Has been fixed. Has been fixed. Okay. I don't want to miss something, but I guess I'll just move on. Can't talk to any of these people.
I
They just
always
say
keep my options
generic
open.
canned dialogue. He didn't have anything to say. Oh, there's something else manufactured. Okay. Another thing malfunctioning over here.
Success is the only outcome I accept.
Man, there's a bunch of malfunctioning stuff.
That's how it's done.
Path to welcome. There we go. Okay. I'm surprised they didn't tell me, like, hey, there's some more things to fix, but that's fine. Your Lordship, the Astropath smiles at you, the shy, awkward smile of someone who's unused to smiling. The sacred mechanism is working again with no disruptions. With a trembling hand, the Psyker hands you a strip of paper with smooth rows of etched characters, this time containing no errors. The engine seer rises proudly to his feet and says in low Gothic, a language he has clearly not had much practice in. With sacred words and virtuous thoughts turned towards the God Emperor, I've been able to pacify this mechanism's wayward spirits. The Omnicide blesses. How lucky are we that the venerable tech priest is so pious and wise? This statement is true. I recommend installing 2 incense burning units in this compartment to prevent the spirit's continued anger. The unit Zachary Wise will be provided a list of minor recommendations, 142 in total, for improvements to this compartment's maintenance. Failure to implement will result in sanctions on the part of the Adeptus Mechanicus priesthood. Jesus, 140 of them. Quest completed.
I always have a backup plan.
Okay. Once the sacred machine is prepared, it will deliver previously indecipherable messages. So I'm assuming that means just like wait, see what happens later. Do you have anything else to say? Oh, he does. Your lordship, I have something for you. The choir master hands you a sheet of paper with uniform lines, machine type etched into it. Thanks to your assistance in repairing the compiler, we have been able to interpret a most curious message. It contains a call sign that agents of the renegade Voigtfear used in their especially important reports. Could it be a message from him? He was more likely the intended recipient. When was it sent? Text failed to go in this has lost its way in the balance of the mechanism. Could be a week old or years. What does it say? Lilamed Odensius the 11th? The winds have ceased. It is done. Now, Ildameth is Voidger's call sign for special reports. The rest is code we are unfamiliar with. That said, we know where to look for the truth. The Odensius 11 system. I will get to the bottom of it. Scout the planet the message was sent from. Okay, cool. So I got like a whole side quest out of that. Nice. And a level up as well. Once I remember how to do that. Okay. Agility, ballistic skill, perception. I want more perception. I want to find more secrets. And choose an ability. Controlled shot. User gives a sign that they're about to open fire. The soldier and their allies will automatically dodge their next attack. Sure. Immediately dashes in the selected direction. You're spending all their movement points. Does not provoke attack of opportunity. Allows them to dash through allies, but not obstacles. The next ranged attack made by this soldier has 90% extra damage and dodge reduction. Ooh. Immediately spends all their action points and movement points and gains a bonus to cover efficiency. The next time they use run and gun, they gain back all the spent AP and MP, plus 1 additional AP. It also resets the cooldown of all their abilities except run and gun. It's kind of complicated, but I think I get it. They bunker down where they're at now, so that the next time they run and gun is even better. Or the next range burst will have increased, well, the rate of fire doubled, but deal less damage, and the shots will follow random trajectories. I like the concentrated fire. Now you get... Those weakness also reduces their substance and willpower. I already have that, okay. Whoever hits. Can you look at her like warp stuff, yeah. Aftershock. Every time they deal mental damage, target suffers half as much at the end of their next turn. Ooh. Means I've taken damage, suffer a penalty to resistance checks. They failed resistance checks. Time it becomes a target. We're just gonna go with Aftershock. Why not? It's easy and I don't have to keep thinking about stuff. Next. Bring her ballistic skill up because I did agility last time if I remember correctly. Choose an ability. She's gonna get rapid fire. I got concentrated fire, she'll get rapid fire. Then he's gonna get melee attacks, penetration, enemies tries to attack, and its ability to attack the warning turn. Or marks a target, gaining armor and damage on melee attacks against them. If they attack during this round, they gain action points. Gains the slash ability with 1 charges. Slash cannot be used the same round as charge. Dashes through an enemy to the cell on the opposite side. The strength, the next attack pushes someone away, so they cannot be used with a chainsaw. Does that include a chain sword? Warrior unleashes terrifying scream, drawing the attention of enemies to become their primary target. Yeah, taunting sounds good. Oh, he gets plus 10. Was everyone plus 10? Let's give him more athletics. I'm kind of just winging it, I'm not gonna lie. I can do them later at
Miscalculations are
Dundown,
for
so
commoners.
that's fine.
I don't make mistakes. I make profitable
To the
learning
star map.
experiences.
Decide where to go next. And this video is about to hit 2 hours. So once we get to the next destination, we'll probably call it Bridge. That's what I want. Idra, I think that's her name, said she would be here and wanted to talk to me about my future, but I didn't see her anywhere on the bridge. Idira. I felt like I looked everywhere. Foxmaster. Heinrich. Argenta. Do they show up on the map? They do. Perfect. Okay. What are these? Just other people to talk to. Helmsman, Montag, Sarbeck. Yeah. Okay. Well, I did not know that was there. That's super handy. There she is. I looked right over her, I guess. A tall middle-aged woman stares straight ahead, her eyes vacant, as she rubs the implant at her temple. Her collar is undone, and one of the clasps is on the verge of falling off. Sensing your presence, Idura turns her head towards you and offers you a crooked smile, even as her eyes look right through you. Where do you come from, Adira?
Lyra, an outlying world in the Heathen Stars region. In the Coronis Expanse, the deeper you go, the less visible the Astronomicon gets, and the less people know about the Imperium. The arrival of a rogue trader is the best thing that can happen to a world like that. The very best.
Tell me more about Lyra.
It's an out-of-the-way planetoid between two
At least this
faint
part's voice
stars.
acted. I can rest
On
my
Lyra, a
voice for a
dozen local
second.
tyrants fight over 5 measly
Drink
continents.
some water.
But they use everything they can to win, from poison to psychers. I haven't been there in many years, but there's nothing for me to miss. Trust me. But here on the ship is a different story altogether. I saw more wonders in my first year serving Lady von Valancius than I'd seen in my whole life on Lyra. Like my first journey through the warp, I was in bed for 3 days. I felt like supernovas were exploding in my head. I only found out later that I'd gotten off easy. Just through the bulkhead in the bay next to mine, a whole team turned into... Look at me rambling on, Lord Captain. Pay no attention.
Okay. You never finished your story about the first time crossing the warp.
It wasn't like it was a very fun trip, Lord Captain. But look, if you want to be entertained, I'm the woman for the job. I'll entertain you with one of the stories from my collection, no problem. But if you want to hear about the time I melted everyone in the bay next door, well, I just don't really want to go into the details on that one, all right?
Okay, that's fair, honestly. What did you do before you came on the ship?
I embroidered wall hangings in honor of our national heroes.
Yeah.
I did the same thing I do here, Lord Captain. Divining. Our rulers prized the ability to see into the future. Every psyker that could be found was worth a small fortune on Lyra.
Makes sense.
There's no such
Oh my
thing
gosh.
as a peaceful life on Lyra.
Okay.
People like me were especially sought after. They'd pick psychers up wherever they found them, buy kids off their parents, even just abduct them. Take me, for instance. I got taken from my street gang. The older kids sold me when they noticed there was something off about me. The ruling dynasties had schools where they trained us and beat us black and blue. And then they packed us off to serve. Some of us held on for a long time, but others didn't last. Not everyone's as smart and talented as me,
Yeah,
you know.
right, of course.
Some people crossed the line and were out of commission before their time.
Adira looks at you expectantly. Then, as though clarifying, she uses her hands to indicate head exploding and laughs. How'd you end up in the Rogue Trader
Theodora
service?
von Valancius paid a visit to the ruler I was serving at the time. I don't know what the visit was for, and it's no business of mine anyway. I can still remember the way the voices in my head changed when I looked at her. They were practically screaming. She had so much behind her, and plenty ahead of her too.
Dang. Okay.
As I gawped at her, all of a sudden I heard a whisper.
Gawped.
A hint, a suggestion, nothing more. But I know the difference between idle chatter and a real threat. I seized my chance and approached Theodora.
Interesting.
I managed to whisper a couple of words in her ear before the wardens dragged me away. They beat me and locked me up. No wonder. It wasn't my place to converse with outsiders. And then Theodora's people came for me.
Dang.
They broke down the wall, butchered the guards. Also, I could tell them my warning in full. So I said the rest,
That's
but I
fair.
didn't want to go back to my old life. And so I entered the service of the von Valancius dynasty.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I like that as a backstory. Have you ever been off the ship?
A few times. Not many. And if I think about it, why would I want to? I've got everything I need here. All the whispers I hear are familiar ones. They almost feel like family. And if I want to hear about the nightmares off the ship, I can. After some Amisec. But don't go getting the wrong idea. If I have to, I'll follow you to the... Of
Fair
course,
enough, fair
Lord
enough.
Captain.
Okay. Man. About your abilities.
What are you talking about, Lord Captain?
Word for the crew, Psyker's not the safest people. I'm concerned about your level of control. You're a Psyker. Psykers are only granted the right with the Emperor's blessing. Have you ever been to Terra?
Look, Lady Theodora couldn't care less if some eggheads measured my brains or not.
That's
It's
fine.
not
I'm
about
just
the
asking.
seal on your forehead, get it? It's about what's in your
I do.
gut.
I do get it.
If it's rotten or not. My gut's stronger than the adamantine on this here ship. And my implants are better than the ones they put in you on your Terra.
Oh,
If
okay.
they weren't, I wouldn't have lived as long as I have.
Bares her teeth in a savage grin, a febrile gleam in her eye. Okay. What's it like being a Psyker?
Lord Captain, forgive me. But it would be like talking to a person born blind about colors.
Yeah, that's fair.
I could spend hours explaining, but it wouldn't make any sense to you.
Understandable, honestly.
Every psyker feels their connection
Be interesting
with
to
the
be a
walk in their
Psyker and
own
have
way.
this conversation with her, though.
One person might see spots and shadows out of the corner of their eye. Another feels fingers running down their spine. As for me, I've got a door in my head. One that's open just a
Interesting.
crack. There's no way to close it, no matter how hard I try. I've just had to get used to the whispers from the other side.
That's interesting.
When I need to use it for work,
Got a
I
Monsters,
listen
Inc.
in
door in
more
her head.
closely. But I usually just try not to notice it.
What would happen if the door burst open?
Well, if the door opens, that means somebody's planning to come in, right?
Probably.
But screw them. They're not coming through. Trust me. I know how to keep my valuable head locked up tight.
How do you live with that?
Training, habit, and a little Amasec and a couple
below.
other things you can get on the lower decks.
Yeah,
If you put all those together, it makes things bearable.
the hookah in my
Sometimes
room.
I even wonder if I'm imagining half the voices I hear.
Can you see my future?
All right. That's what I'm here for, after all. So, I'm just going to lean on that door in my head a little more, prick up my ears, and listen to what the warp's got to say about you.
Sure.
All right. Let's hear what they're whispering about you.
Dira laughs, rubs her hands together, and suddenly freezes with a vacant smile on her face, her head slightly tilted. You feel goosebumps appear on your skin, and your collar begins to waver ever so slightly, as if moved by a breeze from a half-open door. Nice.
Sit not on firm ground, but in
Well
a
put.
golden hall suspended in the void. There waits a child without kin, but with a name blind to truth. She draws the brush across the canvas and does not notice that her palette is full not of paint, but of blood. And with each smear, this well does not deplete, but fills and fills up to the brim. One thing is clear. When this vessel overflows, none will remain unstained.
I didn't understand that at all.
Among the blind men and false prophets, a red-robed sage seeks the answer to a question. He does not know that it is not the answer he must seek, but the question that will draw everything into focus. Will you help him, rogue trader? But mark that sometimes ignorance is sweeter than oblivion.
Okay.
A chained hound chases after glimmers of the aurora,
So these are
but
like the
sparks in the scent
main
of
quests
oil
I gotta do,
confound
I
his
guess.
nose. A chain trails after him. What will happen if you pick it up? Will you become his master? Or merely another beast in the pack of his true lord?
Okay.
The glow
There's a
of
bunch of these,
dawn
okay.
bursts forth from its prison. Dungeon walls cannot contain the dark essence wallowing in the dust.
Just all the
A
companions I'm gonna
naive
get.
cub pushes his nose into a familiar hand, one that holds death in twisted glass. Cherish it or cast it off as a burden. The sword of change has already been raised. What is one more life to it? I'm sorry, Lord Captain. The voices are going wild.
That's cool.
I can't make out a thing. I'll try to rein them in, somehow. But for now,
Is this different than what I just did?
all right.
No,
Let's
this
hear.
is what I just did. Okay.
I'm sorry, Lord Captain. The voices are going.
Did you know Theodora well?
None of the officers knew the Lord Captain well. Not even Abelard, and she was always closer to him than anyone else. She
Okay.
told me from the off that if I ever listened to anything in the warp about her without her permission, I'd be going out through the airlock. I'm not an idiot, so I never stuck my nose where it didn't belong. Only when I was asked.
Smart,
It's
honestly. That's a good call, I think.
Hard to wrap my head around the fact that she's gone. Lady von Valancius gave me everything I have. She opened the stars to me and the paths between them. I still think I can hear her voice.
Yeah, I hear her voice too sometimes, but it's definitely not her. It's definitely some Zinchi shit. Do you have a story?
You bet I do, Lord Captain. Okay, so we went to footfall
I'm
once.
so sorry, I
Well,
can't. There's been
they
so
sat
much
down
talking
and the
already.
cards were dealt. I'm hovering over.
Things are strange between you and
The little
Argenta,
sister
right?
is afflicted with her own set of voices, ones that whisper to her about corruption and heresy. The silly girl doesn't realize that if she wants to find the source, she needs to start by looking in her own head.
Ooh, okay.
Of
Got her. The heresy is coming from inside the house. Okay, I'm so sorry that this has taken 2 hours of just talking. Hopefully that's what people are here for. That's what they enjoy. Because I've been enjoying it. I like learning about everyone. I really am glad to know kind of the backstories and the thoughts of processes of everyone, my companions and the officers too. Okay, here we go. The events of Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader take place in a vast region of space known as the Cronus Expanse. This sector is composed of numerous star systems, many of which you will get the chance to visit. You will find yourself scouring the void in search of routes leading to new uncharted systems, discovering more routes as you explore the expanse. What you see before you is the map of one such system. Each star contains objects you can interact with. Such objects are marked as points of interest. Move your ship to a point of interest and click. Okay, so what is that? Is that us? Oh yeah, okay. Oh, this is interesting. You actually can like... Alright, this must be our loot. People, provisions, chemicals, plasteel, mechanisms, promethium. We got no promethium? Okay, maybe this is just stuff to sell. So, and Rykad, we had the people, the conflict. Unidentified void ship is interesting. The Athropathic station, yes. Uric V. I don't remember what 5. I don't remember what that was. Oh, that's the Navis Nobilite station. That's an anthropastic relay. And this is the prison planetoid. Oh, there's Rekhead Minoris and Rekhead Majoris. Okay. I'm kind of most interested in this void ship. Oh. Lord Captain, Astropathic Commissary Zachary Weiss is asking to speak to you on a private channel. Yeah. I can report that the choir is listening timelessly to the Immaterium in the hope of picking up voices from the Dynasty's ships or worlds. However, we have heard something horrifying instead. Amid the Immaterium's tumult, something is screaming. The scream is driving your choir mad. Until it stops, there's no hope of contacting any of the Dynasty's worlds, and it's coming from Reichad Systems' Astropathic Station. That's this guy. What's the nature of the scream? We don't know, but it has brought the Immaterium to a boil. It's always been a violent, roaring ocean that could spill doom at any moment. However, it's been a cradle of madness. Mighty warp storm. Okay, we'll pay a visit to the station then. I still want to go to the void ship first. I know what to expect in pretty much all these except that one and this one. This one's a little more interesting to me. Vox crackles to life, and the helmsman addresses me. What we have here, Lord Captain, is not very noticeable, but there's a void ship sitting in the local asteroid field. It sure is quiet, like it's huddled up in there on purpose. It's not like I'm surprised. The thing is more scrap heap than ship at this point. Somebody sure went to town on it. We are registering critical damage to the hull and depressurization of several compartments. Oh, there's an incoming transmission now, too. Hear us? Do not require assistance. Pete, do not require assistance. Copy. Keep following. They'll pass us by, won't they? Emperor protects. I'm told our augurs cannot determine the allegiance of the vessel. To be brief, there is an unidentified and badly damaged vessel within a void field, which has not been too fun a point, has not yet been offered to us. Okay. Let the vessel identify itself. Do tell him we are done for. This is Thunderfang. We are... Voices falters. Uncertainty is replaced by another merchant vessel. You copy? Private merchant vessel. Merchant vessel, of course they are. Damn, my stupid head. Where did I hear this name before? Thunderfang. Ravor, damage report. Telemetry shows multiple HUD breaches, most likely caused by guns of a combat ship. Several compartments are leaking air. The bridge has been almost completely obliterated. 2 of the engines are critically damaged, and someone gave them a thrashing. But they don't want help. They don't want to identify themselves. And they probably are lying about being a merchant ship. That sun in the middle of the screen looks really cool. Holy crap. Anyway. Your vessel's badly damaged. What happened? Their Vox responds by bursting into a cacophony of sounds, words, emotions. Someone chuckles bitterly, someone swears with some foul expletives, yet another hisses, furiously demanding that the others shut up. We managed to make out little from all this noise. You were just flying, minding our own business. Straight out of the blue, it opened fire. Miracle we could get away. Emperor protected, and then more fire. Who? Void only knows. Roasted our tail, bombed everything. Our folks are left without our help. We never got to them. Why can we not identify you? Why? I don't know. What if? Certainly not. Our vessel is badly damaged, preventing correct identification. We assure you a merchant vessel with Thunderfang does not require aid. Alright, stop playing games. What's your business here? And tell me the freaking truth, man. Happy now? What have you done, idiot? It's too late now. Angry whispering. Do you copy? We are the Fellowship of the Void. We do not come here to loot. On different business to help your own out of jail. Do not hurt, please. We already had our cronies cleaned. How about striking a deal? Our hold is full of plunder. I mean goods. In case you're unaware, Lord Captain, the Fellowship of the Void is a disorderly assembly of dozen pirate factions. Consider themselves above regular heretics solely because they sometimes have conversations with whom they're about to board. Were it up to me, I'd make him eat a salvo from the macro cannons to shake the scrum loose from the decks. They certainly deserve it. I would wait on destroying the vessel if I were you. Although the moral aspects of their livelihood do cause some awkward questions, the Fellowship of the Void remains a major supplier of goods to the global market. Perhaps if you find dealing with them more acceptable, especially in a situation where performing a warp jump is impossible. Thunderfang, prepare for commercial exchange. I don't even really have anything. Got no reputation, really. I can sell, though, right? What did I just do? Hello? Creating cargo. I don't know what that means exactly. So I'm guessing because I'm only at rep level 0, I can only buy this much stuff. Camouflage robe. The ranged attacks decrease the target's dodge. A flamer. I could buy a flamer for 4 profit factors. I don't think I want to do that yet. Okay. Acquired cargo, heretic trophies, unique artifacts, melee weaponry. So I can trade them melee weaponry, right? And ranged weaponry. I hope I'm doing this right. Okay, and that gave me like a little bit of rep, 200. Okay, yeah, and then a flamer. Maybe that would be a good idea to grab a flamer. Flamer shop stream, flamer shop spray. I just don't know how easy it's going to be to get my hands on one of these otherwise. Or difficult. Easy or difficult. Heavy leather armor. I don't think we have anyone that can wear heavy armor, do we? Okay, that'll be it for now. I'll remember that they're there. Okay, we're going to go to the Athropathic station, but not yet. I have to call it. I have some other stuff I have to do today, so thank you anybody who joined me on this video. I have 2 viewers. That's like the most I've had all video, and now I have to stop. I'm sorry. I know we're just about to get into the good stuff, but I'll have this video as the talky bits. Next video will be really diving deep into the systems and hopefully doing some combat and less just talky. Let me save. But yeah, thank you for being here with me. I really appreciate it, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.